don't sing if you want to live long. They have no use for your song. You're dead, you're dead, you're dead, you're dead and out of this world. Now your hope and compassion is gone. You've sold out your dream to the world. Stay dead, stay dead, stay dead. You're dead and out of this world.
What's up and welcome everybody. It is indeed Friday, the 13th of October.
Yes.
I'm so glad your loud yell cut out because I don't think I have the energy for that. Anyway, we've got 3 movies. I know there's only 2 movie posters surrounded by Giovanni's fascicles. There's actually 3 movies. We've got Noroi, I don't know how to pronounce it, so I'm just going to say Noroi.
Norori.
Jason Goes to Hell, which has no footage of Jason in hell at all in it, by the way.
Nope.
And the last movie is the Hulu horror movie, The Appendage. Hello, Skyrock Rudy. I know everybody is saying how like great Hulu is, but like their horror movies are shit. Minus like the Hellraiser, Prey was decent, which was the Predator movie. They every now and then they get a good one, but a lot of them have been kind of, especially in their horror movies, have been fucking clunkers.
Yeah. I think Paramount Plus has had a good horror run.
Who's the one that are they the ones with Scream?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Anthony was saying that he likes Peacock's selection right now.
Well, Lewis did recommend The Boogeyman, which is on Hulu. I believe that's a Hulu movie. So I think we will be checking that one out this year too. Like I said, we're doing 3 movies tonight. I'm gonna be honest with you. I don't foresee these reviews being very long. All that in depth.
Or very high.
Or very high, yeah. These Halloween hot dogs are gonna be sad, droopy hot dogs made from a wet Halloween Peeps. And I hate Peeps.
I don't like them either. They're cool in the microwave though.
I don't like Peeps. I mean, I guess, but like. That's like, you know that dude that's like, I'm the president of the Fast Food Secrets Club?
Yeah.
Well, he was like, I just saw these, what you got to do with these grapes. And he literally soaks them in lemon and lime and then shit tons of sugar, bro.
Yeah, shit tons.
And then he's like, you got to put them in the freezer. And then he's like, these taste like candy. And it's like, because it's candy. You just made candy.
Candy grapes.
Like, it's literally natural sugar. And then you throw... Yeah. Crystallized sugar and lemon juice. You made fucking candy. Like, you're not eating a grape anymore. Like, that's like saying if a chocolate covered raisin is just as healthy as a raisin. Like, no wonder they taste good. They're diabetes. Those nasty peanut butter flavored Halloween candy hot dogs. I mean, I think this one's gonna be the bun is a melted, molded one giant piece of candy corn. And the hot dog's going to have to be a small but frosting loaded cinnamon roll. Like a elongated,
Jesus Christ.
And then we're going to top them with Jelly Bellies, but they'll be like Halloween flavor.
No, they'll be
Birdie Bots.
They'll be Harry Potter flavor.
Yeah, the Birdie Bots.
Oh, that's evil and disgusting.
So
now, wax lips, as somebody who was poor as a kid and my mom would get wax lips because they were like a quarter, wax lips are awful. You know what they taste like? Wax.
They're not edible. They're wax.
Well, you put them in your mouth, though. The same thing like with the fake vampire teeth. I always thought like, this is gross.
Do you remember the little juice sticks that you would get from the store that they were with wax? You'd bite the ends off and you drink the wax.
You got like 0.4 of an ounce, or not even like it was like tiny amount of liquid. Have you guys been able to watch anything else, or it was just these 3 clunkers?
I have been watching stuff.
What?
I've been doing a lot of TV shows. I started 2 new TV shows with my wife.
Started Monk again.
It's actually coming back for what's it called? His last movie.
The Lube's back, huh?
After 8 years. But it was found on, I guess, on channel NBC or whatever. And the other one is whatever it is, but they're like suspenseful drama suspense shit.
You still watch network television?
Yeah, but I watch it with without commercials on Peacock. You just wait for it to come out the next day, and you don't get any commercials.
That's how I do it with Hulu,
Oh,
with
like
like Hell's
Hulu.
Kitchen
Yeah, like
and
Hulu used to
Kitchen
do
Night.
that.
Kitchen Nightmares came back, by the way. I don't know if anybody saw
It
that,
did.
but
Yep.
we've been watching that. I really have a hankering to watch the RoboCop film again, but I'm waiting because I think we should re-review that with They Live and do like a combo on it. I think we should start figuring out like Grindhouse style movies like that, where if even one of them, like let's say you wanted to do Demo Man and Running Man, like yeah, we've reviewed Demo Man, but we could like a Grindhouse pairing. We can do a whole kind of Grindhouse review style. I think that'd be a little bit fun. We change up the hot dog system a little bit, maybe.
I did watch a movie too. It was a Varsity Blues.
I don't want your life.
I don't want your life.
That movie's ridiculous. We've been watching Peaky Blinders. I really want to watch VHS. I've been holding out because I know my wife enjoys those movies too. Another series that I turned her on to that she never thanks me for, along with Breaking Bad and every other good thing she's watched in the past 15 years, is because of me, frankly. But hates Dark City, so she still has no taste, frankly. Just saying. Dark City's a wonderful movie. And we've reviewed
It's great.
that,
I
right?
actually recently,
Yeah, we did.
I recently rewatched Dark City.
I thought Dark City was a lost episode, though. That never got published.
I think it was, wasn't it?
There's another thing. We could pair that up with The Crow. You could pair it up with, like, Sin City. Like, there's a couple cool pairings. Like a sci-fi
Surprise,
pairing.
surprise.
Dude,
Jen's been watching Gilmore Girls.
Every fucking... She's like... Yeah, last night, she's like... I haven't been playing much games lately. And I was like, yeah, that's because you've been watching Gilmore. She's like, yeah, I've been watching.
I kind of watch Gilmore Girls with her when I'm online with you.
Yeah, but you annoy me so bad with it because you, for some ungodly reason, pay attention to it. Like, it's literally right next to me, and I just try to fucking ignore it and play the game, and you will respond to the show as though I'm supposed to be keeping up with it.
Because
it's like, what the fuck are you talking about?
Because the volume of it is almost the same as your voice. So they're.
But why would you think you responding to the show is going to make sense to me if I'm not paying attention to it? I mean, every time you do it, I'm like, well, suffer. Let's talk about your fan guy. Suffer with me. You know the stakes.
My wife is on A Year in the Life, which is the Netflix Final Four movies.
Is that of Gilmore Girls? Yeah, Janet is still in the original show. I believe the episode is. I assume you know it a bit because of her. But Luke, at the point where we find out Luke has a daughter.
Oh yeah. Yep, they're about to get
sick to my stomach.
Not go through with the wedding. The next one is that they don't go through with the wedding, and then
spoiler alert. How old is this show? Come on. She's watched it like 4 times. Then she's gonna start saying next will be Degrassi or some shit.
As soon as my wife finishes the last movie on Netflix, we start episode 1 like the next day.
Ew.
She can watch that on repeat. That and Friends, but I don't like Friends, so I was like, you got to pick. You can replay Gilmore Girls as much as you want.
See, I would have gone with Friends.
Don't put on Friends.
Personally,
I can't stand Friends.
We put Friends on for the dog when we leave the house, but I started putting on Scooby Doo since it's Halloween week or month. So I've been putting on Scooby Doo for her, and she's been watching cartoons. It's kind of funny.
Jen says I may rewatch Girls. If you rewatch Girls, then you better get used to me walking in the room and yelling "horse-face space dog" when I look at the TV, okay? Because Lena Dunham is a fucking goblin. I don't like her. The only thing good about that show, Girls, is Adam Driver, and he's a total piece of shit in the show. I do like Friends. I actually do enjoy Friends. I find it to be a funny show. But I've seen a lot of Friends. I've never seen all of like Modern Family. Like I actually
that's a show I want to get into.
It is funny. It is funny. I haven't finished it, but it is funny.
Well, I see a lot of like YouTube shorts of it, and it's like I think I can get into that show. Like Ed O'Neill, the father in it's the dude from Dawn of the Dead remake, so I already kind of like him from that. We never
another one I get a lot of
so
shorts on is Atlanta. That's another one I
do want to watch that as well. I do like Childish Gambino. I forget his name. Donald
Glover.
Yeah. I always say Donald Faison, and that's not.
Was correct. He was in Community, right?
Yeah, that's where he got like his.
That's a show I can't get into.
I love that show. I love the first 4 seasons.
Can't get into
and the 6 seasons isn't bad. Their final season is pretty funny too. It's one of those shows that you kind of embrace the ADD of it. and understand that at a certain point, most episodes have themes. Like, and a lot of them spoof movies. Like, there's an episode that gets spoofs Die Hard. The paintball episodes are awesome. There's 2 Pillow Fort episodes that are really like. The show really is ADD, where it's like one episode for Christmas is a animated Christmas episode, like the old school shorts. How much have you watched of it?
I've watched the first 2 seasons.
That should have been enough to grip you.
Yeah, that's because I watched the first season, but somebody told me watch another season, so I gave it another shot.
I mean, it's the type of thing where if you just don't dig the tempo, the show never really like changes from that tempo.
Okay.
Yeah.
Claymation, yeah, claymation.
Oh yeah, the claymation Christmas stuff.
Does this work? Oh, I don't know why, but YouTube is allowing me emojis for some reason.
Oh, that's weird.
Oh, like, hey,
Have you ever
post an
activated
emoji. Well, no, it's like these little, like, I can click it and it's just not doing shit. Is it showing up in chat?
No.
I don't have a chat for the overlay on the screen because your words don't need to block our faces, frankly. Nobody comes here to read your words. And I mean, they don't come here to watch us either, so don't feel bad. What's up, Alex, whoever that guy is? Fucking loser. All right, we have 3 movies to watch. These reviews are going to be probably quick because I kind of, like, hated them in a way. I hated this week, almost. It took me 3 viewings to finish this fucking... And it wasn't because, like... It was honestly because I couldn't concentrate on it between the, like, white-on-white subtitles. And let's review the movie first.
Let's start with that one. Yeah, let's start with that one.
Right. One of the big problems is the Shudder transfer of it has... what is this, Korean or Japanese?
Japanese.
It's Japanese, yeah.
So there's Japanese subtitles. There's subtitles in Japanese on the transfer in bright white. So then they put the English subtitles in white, smaller than the other subtitles, and they're hard to fucking read. On top of that, a big issue I have with this movie is there is large chunks of it that very little happens. There's a lot of shots of like people sitting around and we're watching her facial expressions and like, okay, but it's really one of those the last half hours where all the meat happens.
It's also a lot of repetitive like dialogue that just gets so fucking annoying.
Yeah. You know, those scenes where it's like, I mean, they visit the people and everything 2 or 3 times before the end of the movie.
Then they do flashbacks of it.
Yeah, dude. And like, you know, and then like, and that's the thing is the problem with if you don't speak that language, if I don't speak Japanese, my attention is demanded to the subtitles. And because this movie was so fucking slow, it was one of those movies where I was looking at my phone and then I look up and I'd like, oh shit, did I fucking miss something? And then it's like inevitably I'm back at my phone.
Yeah.
Because it's just fucking slow and kind of boring in parts.
I didn't have the problem looking at my phone. I had the problem looking at the back of my eyes because I kept fucking falling asleep.
Yeah, same thing. Like I wasn't tired, just fucking bored.
Yeah.
The problem with this movie is it tried to chase after that found footage.
Blair Witch Project, I think, is probably its biggest influence.
Mm-hmm. It did too much build. This movie's 2 hours.
Well, it's too much documentary shit.
Yeah.
And then like we talked about, the soundtrack is like a movie soundtrack. So it's like I'm supposed to take this as a documentary, but in reality you have a movie score over it, so none of it's clearly real. Like there is CGI in it at the end of the movie when you see the ghost, and it's awful.
It is. It's pretty bad.
So and it's
the baby
it's
ghost as well.
Yeah,
the baby ghost.
It's 05. I get it, but it's like maybe it's because it is 05 and they've made so much progress in the found footage. I mean, I think VHS is probably the prime example of found footage anthology. Like, and I think there's been so many good ones that's come after this that you can't have an hour and 15, an hour and a half of slowness and then a half hour of boom. Those movies don't make any money in the theater anymore. The one I can think of is Chernobyl Diaries. The whole fucking movie, nothing happens, and then finally, the last 5 minutes, they emerge at Chernobyl. They're dying of radiation. Creatures start coming out, and then it's just kind of over. Like that, I hate. Like They Live, or not They Live. They just kind of ends. Like literally, she's about to come into contact with the creature, and the movie ends. Like I fucking hate movies like that. Because that's not even a cliffhanger. No. That's just you didn't tell a full story.
Not only
Yeah.
that, this movie, the problem with this is it's so heavily focused on the curse
Yeah.
that you have to pay attention to so many parts. And a 2-hour long movie that you're reading too, it's subtitled. So 2-hour long movie subtitled. It's
And
too
so,
much. And
and
honestly,
it's
if this
If
was
if they cut some of the like screaming and fucking howling and that epileptic seizure that Mr. Maury Tin Hat was doing, if they
Maury
cut those
Tin
to a minute, well, his name was Mr. Maury or Mr. Horry or whatever. But if they would have cut those scenes down a little bit, it would have shortened the movie a lot.
you could cut 15 to 30 seconds out of every scene by just eliminating like them walking and getting closer to the house. And
Knocking
then,
on the door for the 4th time.
yeah, and then like the replays of like the when they show the actress that there's something over her shoulder,
yeah,
and it's
remove
like
all the
3
replays.
slow motion fucking replays, and it's like this movie is filmed like a documentary, scored like a film. It's also filmed like a film. Like, I'm sorry, I'm not a great editor, right? But I understand that technical interference, and then magically the fire has spread. You're making cuts. Like, we get it. Like, smart way to hide it. But anybody who knows anything understands that's your cut point. Like where the chick lights herself on fire. I thought that scene was cool, but it goes from her arm and then digital interference, and then her back's fully engulfed in flame. And then she starts spreading it around her, and then it goes from she disappears, and then the whole fucking area is on fire. And it's like, and then just him, and it's like, oh, he was never found.
Yeah.
And it's like, that's far, like, I feel like 05 is a decade after Blair Witch. It's far too long after Blair Witch to have those type of endings. Like, and you're also talking in the era when you have the original Saw coming out around that time that had one of the coolest horror movie endings of all time.
What year did Blair Witch come out? Was it in the 90s?
Wasn't it like 94, 95?
Because I know a lot of times when you go to other countries, a lot of times the movies aren't always a big hit at the time. So maybe Blair Witch just wasn't a big thing until, like 2005.
99.
99.
So this 6
Yeah,
years
that's
later.
Blair Witch
I mean that's possible, but even then, like, I don't know, because then they went, we're gonna do Blair Witch, but we're gonna do it more technically, and we're gonna have the girl's gonna pull water, and it's gonna have hair in it, and is it one of the dead dog's hair they find later? Is it from the baby ghost? Who's the hair from? Because you do have the one doctor talk about how it could have been infant hair. That's the only way it would be human hair. So is it the ghost of the baby? Is it hair from one of the dogs that you see dead around the like demonic circle? Like, what's going on? And they never really fully explain, which is okay, I guess. But you also have to be okay with the ending of where like everybody's possessed. If they're not possessed, they're dead. And then you see the ghosts walk off, and that's the end of the movie. The ghosts are roaming. Cool.
This seemed like it was like one of those made for TV. Actually, a lot of these movies that we're talking about tonight was like made for
Here's
TV.
the thing, in 05, it was probably creepy as shit.
Yeah.
Like, maybe I wasn't as desensitized back then either, because I'm pretty fucking dead inside when it comes to these movies at this point. So, like, every moment that should have been horror for me just didn't get me, and then so I have to sit through a whole bunch of shit, not like bad movie shit, but like a whole bunch of filler in this movie to get to those moments, and then those moments are kind of like whatever, and then you finally get the last like 15 minutes that are pretty fun. And it's like, man, I don't know, like, I don't know if I have the patience for that anymore. Like, Appendage kind of has the same problem. How many minutes of that movie is it her staring at her fucking appendage in the basement? And we'll get into that fucking shit show. But here's the thing is I like the style of this movie. And I think in 05, I probably would have liked it a lot more. But with the advancements they've made in the past 17 or 18 years of horror films, namely Paranormal Activity set a whole new standard for this sort of stuff, like security, camera sort of movie. So like, and then you got VHS 2, where you get a movie kind of like this in the Cult short, which is a first-person documentary style horror film. So like, people have done this style better, and they weren't even the originators of this style. So that's why, for me, it's just kind of middle of the road. And I'm kind of just getting tired of watching an hour and a half of movie to get a half hour of kind of, okay, that was neat. On to the next one. Oh, great, Jason goes to hell. I tell you right now, my 10-second forward on that motherfucker was like, oh, they're talking. Oh, there's tits. Oh, okay, another tit scene. That. You know how much time I saved watching the movie that way? I don't give two shits about nudity in a movie anymore. I really don't. Like at this age and shit, like when, like even if it's a modern film, like when you watch the Friday the 13th remake and they have that really like fucking hardcore sex scene at the end of it, I'm just cheering on him to shove his fucking machete right through one of them. Like, I don't care about. I don't know. Is it just me, or is the era of like gotta have tits in our rated R comedies and horror movies just fucking dumb?
Well, it's not targeting us. It's getting the younger kids, younger people. So it's
yeah, but even then, like
we're watching it, but it's not meant for us to. It's not meant to pull us in.
Yeah, but who goes to the see horror movies the most? Groups of single young people or people on dates and shit?
Like in theaters, probably in dates.
Well, if they're rated R, kids can't get them any, so that eliminates high schoolers, except for seniors who are 18, right? So theoretically. So, but if you actually took demographics, I guarantee you the new Saw movie, Saw X, I guarantee you that was 30-somethings on date night. Because they're the only ones, you know what I mean? They grew up with Saw. Like, we grew up with Saw. This new generation grew up with Saw 5. You know what I mean? Like, they don't have the connection to it. So I'd imagine most people who went and saw 10 were couples or groups of dudes our age. So it's like, who the fuck, like, who are you appealing to? And I guarantee you Saw doesn't have any tits in it. I don't think any single one of them does. That movie's just all about the murder.
But I think it's more too for nostalgia. That's what the slasher films were about.
I was gonna say,
we're talking 45 seconds of her undressing and then getting into the shower. We're talking literally, she's standing there and then that, and I get it, and I understand it. But do you think a modern slasher, if that had it in there, would add or take away from the film?
I don't think it would do really much of anything.
I don't know. I don't know. Maybe it's just me. It's just like, get over. I'm here to see violence. I'm not here to see tits. Like, I'm here to see fucking Jason hop out of water and cut fucking heads off. And I get it. Like, if the scene is like, oh, she goes into the tent and like you just hear him fucking in the background, whatever. But 45 seconds of her just like disrobing in front of the shower. Like, for the one thing, did anyone notice how she throws her underwear? She literally is just like, what? Like,
yeah.
Her bra she takes off all nicely, and then her underwear she's like, bye! And like, just fucking tosses it when she gets in the shower. I literally laughed at that. I was like, what the fuck? Like, that's like a dude thing to do, where it's like, oh, fuck it, and then just toss it in the corner. I did find that. There's a couple scenes in this movie that
like
I just...
Kobe!
Yeah, well, never. There's a couple scenes in that movie that were just laugh out loud funny to me, but... This movie, not so much. I'm ready. I don't know if you guys are. I'm ready to do the disgusting droopy dick candy corn hot dog.
Yeah.
1.5. I'm done.
You know what? I'm going to go with a 2 on it. Like, I don't think it's awful. I just think at this point in time, it's heavily outdated and slow.
Yeah, I'm going to go with the 2 as well. I feel like even in 05, this movie is way too long. The replays don't need to be done, and you have to pay attention to too much, and there's too much time in between those key moments.
Yeah, there's a lot of like, zooming in as like they're typing on a computer, and that shit's just you're just wasting my time at this point because like I'm not, you're not building suspense by me watching somebody like talk to a therapist really.
But yeah, it was way too long. It's a 1.5 is for me, man. It just. You guys did 2s, and I'm not there.
Which one you want to do next? You want to do Appendage? We'll save Friday the 13th for Friday the 13th ending?
Yeah, why not?
Yeah.
You recommended this one, Alex. What did you think of it?
I recommended it because I saw that it was like not PG-13 and it was on Hulu, and that's the first thing I saw when I was looking up stuff. And I wish I would have looked a little further. Honestly, I didn't like this fucking movie, but it was kind of entertaining in a way where like they had a good idea where they were going with it, but then it just got really weird. The acting is fucking kind of really like fucked up in there. Like there's some of them that are good, and then
the main the main character's boyfriend. Who fucking hired that guy?
Yeah,
I mean, but he was like the only one. I mean, so her best friend I think had the best acting. But he was also the only one that like seemed like he gave a shit. Like she seemed like she was on Valium the whole movie.
Yeah,
she did. Yeah,
she also looked like they wanted somebody to be like a what's her name, Eliza Cuthbert, whatever.
Yeah, well, this whole movie's full of ripoffs. The dark-haired chick or the dark-haired doppelganger, that looked to me like they wanted so bad for it to be Gia Cargini or whatever the fuck her name is.
Oh, Gia Gershaw.
Whatever. Yeah, whatever the Italian actress that was in
Gina Gershaw. Sorry,
no, not Gina Gershon. The other one.
No.
Oh fuck! I'm trying to think. What she was in Spy Kids, I think, as the mother.
Oh, she was also in one of the mummies, wasn't she? Wasn't she the replacement mummy?
No, that was the what's her face from Grown Ups and A History of Violence. I'm trying to think of what I can't think of what movie this chick was in. I remember her face clearly. I'm pretty. Do you guys remember the Identity? The chick, the like actress that's smoking all the time, and I think her head ends up in the washing machine.
Oh my god!
You know what she looks like though. You have an image.
Yeah,
her. Anywho, that was a weird tangent to go on with, and no real resolution because I'm fucking dumb. These guys are looking it up right now, but I'm even unwilling to do that. I'm tired today, guys. I had to get up early and take the wife to work. Then I witnessed a hit and run today. That was fun. I was about ready to turn down my block, and this guy came shooting out up the back of another car. Jesus. I went home. I ate my Burger King. Carla Gugino. I did. I went to Burger King specifically because I was hungry. I didn't. She was in The Mummy. Who'd she play in?
She was the second mom. She was the second Brendan Fraser wife, I think.
That's not her. That's what I'm thinking of. I know who you're thinking of, but that's not her.
There's Amanda Peet.
Not Amanda
in
Peet.
Identity.
Can we get the fuck off this?
Yeah. All right.
All right. Just way too much time. That doesn't matter.
This movie was bad, but we were talking about it, and this movie had a lot of potential if it went in very different directions.
Yeah.
From how it ended. Like, I suggested it'd be cool if the movie was like she was the only human left and they were all like creatures. That would be cool. Matt had an idea for what was your idea for?
I thought it would be neat if instead of the doppelganger like trying to take her over, she gets kidnapped by the other doppelgangers, and then her doppelganger has to save her. Like they're all gonna feed on her. Like I thought that would have been cooler because like then you actually give a like dynamic where because in this movie it's like, oh, you got to keep her alive for now, and it's like, here's the thing: is this movie has a twist to it, and here's the spoiler alert. We'll just, if you guys want to spoil it,
don't watch it. That's all. But
So here's the thing: it's the whole concept. This one is called appendage, and the whole concept is this appendage is formed by stress and anxiety that grows and eventually shoots out of people, and then it's like a little child that's connected. Now here's the thing that I didn't.
It's Quado.
I didn't understand why did she believe them? Like after she found out that they were all appendages, why did she believe them when they said if you kill the appendage you kill yourself? Why would they tell you the truth and say yeah, if you kill them you're fine if they were all appendages? So like that leads me to believe that maybe it's not true. You know what I mean? Like because if they were all appendages, they would of course lie to her and tell her, if you kill it, you die. So if she doesn't kill the appendage.
Yeah, because the appendage, their thing was that they would lie. They would say anything to you to make you get further away from people so they can feed on you.
Yeah, so like I would have killed them. Like by the end of the movie, she's raising it like a baby. Like there's no proof that you need to keep it alive. Like kill it. Like it's clearly its entire existence is going to be to try to take you over.
And the old appendage says that he fed off his first host or whatever, or he fed off another host, and then it severed his tie from the other one, so he's dead, and now he's free. So maybe it's the same way. Like it just made no sense. Like he said that, so why didn't she? But she didn't know about it.
There's a lot of shit in this movie that just doesn't make sense.
When she cut the appendage's tongue and didn't feel the appendage, like the creature
Yeah.
dying, because the creature
Right.
was suffering.
Yeah.
She
Yeah.
should have felt that.
Yeah. She should have been on
That
like
would have
she
should
would
have
have had
clicked,
the
like, you
yeah.
know.
Yeah, there's there, and then like the one scene I thought was really stupid. The whole idea of like she thinks they're cheating on her, or he's cheating on her with her best friend. Like because then but I mean there is a fair question of like why are you two always hanging out together?
Yeah.
Like they're like every scene, like there's the first scene where they show him and her doing it, and then breakfast, right? And then after that, every scene he's in, her best friend's in.
Yeah, it's weird.
But she's the one that introduced them. She was his friend way before.
So
they met.
why is the best friend hanging out with him? Like a best friend wouldn't hang out with your man without you there. Like that whole dynamic is and the whole concept is essentially like, what if your anxiety and the thoughts in the back of your mind that tell you like, oh, this might go on, manifests to a physical being and is like that's essentially what this movie is. Unfortunately, it's very short-sighted. It's not scary in any way, shape, or form, and it's not even they try to be grotesque like Tusk, but it's not even that level of grotesque. It's really just kind of a flat movie. It's boring. The dialogue's not well done. The acting's not well done. There isn't a single face in this movie you recognize from any movie ever.
The creature feature stuff.
The creature feature stuff was cool.
Feature stuff. That's why that's the only stuff I liked about the movie. Like when it's talking to her, it did remind me of like Quado.
Their eyeballs were badass too, even in like human copy form. They had that glisten to them.
Mm-hmm.
This also like the buildups in this movie led to nothing.
Yeah,
like they tried to build up to something, and you're like you can clearly tell they were trying too hard, and then it just disappointed.
Did they ever
like,
show what happens to the doppelganger of the dark-haired chick? Like they showed her body in the bed, like starting to get all red and fucked up looking, but they don't complete that. Like, do we just assume that she decomposes?
It looks like she starts to, but that's how they leave it. They don't.
I gotta say, sadly enough, Jason Goes to Hell has some better CG than this movie.
It does.
Like Jason Goes to Hell when the cop, turns into like the puddle of human. That scene's pretty awesome. Good. I like that scene. Yeah, like I said, guys, these are short reviews because frankly, none of these movies are great. I'd recommend Jason Goes to Hell on the premise of like it's a Jason movie. Like you know what you're getting. It's a early '90s Jason movie on top of it. So I'd say it's worth a watch once, but I don't think I'll ever watch that movie. I mean, if I did, it'd be the last 25 minutes.
The only person in this whole movie appendage that's known for anything else is the black-haired girl, Emily Hampshire or whatever her name is.
She
in
did
real
look
life.
familiar from something.
She's from Schitt's Creek. I think she was in 12 Monkeys, the TV show.
Oh, I have not watched either one of those.
Yeah, she wasn't. Yeah. So she's been in other stuff that's actually.
I mean,
decent.
she was okay, but like maybe the problem with her is her role was just so like formulaic, and it's like I'm evil and now you know.
Mm-hmm.
Like the problem is like these characters may not talk like him, but they all kind of sound like Dr. Evil eventually. And they kind of all have that like I'm gonna take over you now, and it's like we get it, we get your role. Me, I'm ready. I'm ready to go shitty hot dogs on this one. This one is another. You know what? This one's a 1. I'm not gonna say it's as bad as The Shed, but it's up there with The Shed and Invisible Potato Face.
This one is another 1.5 for me. It's 1.5. It's
You've only got 3 between your movies.
Yeah.
This is a 1 as well for me.
Alex reviewing this one higher. You really loved it.
Some of the creature feature things though that you guys said you liked about it, I found kind of shitty. Like it was like 80s horror, like the Ghoulies. I don't know if you've ever seen that one.
I'm okay with if that's the goal. Like if that's what you're going for, then cool, you've succeeded, right? But if that's not what you're going for and it's just we made kind of a shit tier movie, that's bad.
Yeah.
Like Tusk was going for that. I'm trying to think of that movie, Bad Milo, where the guy's got the thing growing out of his ass, I think. That's like that's meant to be grotesque and like, what the fuck. This was, they tried, but they went for that at first, and then they tried to be a serious horror movie. And they just, it doesn't work.
Yeah, no, it doesn't. It doesn't jive well.
All right, on to the final feature this Friday the 13th. Friday the fucking 13th. Part 7000, Jason Goes to Hell.
Number 9.
This movie doesn't have Jason in hell at all. That is false advertising.
Also,
Also,
go to hell to the end.
is it a Friday the 13th movie?
I believe
Because
so.
when you look it up, don't you look up just Jason Goes to Hell?
That's what it's known as. But in the collection, it does have a
A number in a
numerical.
prelude.
So when I
yeah,
went to see it in theater, it wasn't called Friday the 13th. Jason Goes to Hell, the final Friday. It's just known as Jason Goes to Hell, the final Friday.
See, it did make me want to watch Jason X. Like, out of all the things it made me want to do, I want to watch Jason X now.
Jason X is another dumb movie, but there are a lot of great kills in there.
One of my favorites is the liquid nitrogen head. He just fucking dunks her and he turns her into fucking pieces like liquid metal, but they won't be put back together.
I love the two girls in the sleeping bag, and he's just fucking whipping
in the simulator or whatever it was. Yeah. And, like in the way it cuts in that movie is beautiful because it goes from him like looking at them, and then it goes to another scene and it comes back and he's like beating the tree with her. Yeah, I love that fucking scene. I gotta watch that movie now. That one is bad as it is. I also have a hankering to watch Jason Does Manhattan, simply because that movie's terribly awesome. It's bad, but it's good.
Bad in a good way.
Because that's the one with the boxer, right? Who gets his fucking head punched off? Yeah, it's just goofiness. All right, so Jason Goes to Hell. The beginning scene it's the standard like Friday the 13th where he's chasing the damsel who took her clothes off for a minute of film time, and then he goes into the woods and he's captured. The lights and machine gun fire, and they finally blow him up, and all that's left is a heart and a head. That's all that's left, guys. So then his body's transported to the morgue, and this mortician's looking at it, and something tells him to eat the beating heart, and he does.
The beating of the heart tells him to eat the beating of the heart.
Therefore, it transforms. Jason's spirit goes into this man, and it basically turns into like a Jason version of Fallen.
He's the boxing promoter from fucking Rocky. Touch me and I sue.
Fun fact: the two officers in the morgue. Yeah, the one standing up, he's normally plays Jason.
Yeah,
he does in this one too. Yeah.
I do like that scene actually, though. How like they show him walk past him, and then it's like these two security were found dead. I dug that. Some of the CG in this are like whatever puppeteering and shit they had going on was pretty decent. The best scene is really when they light him up and it goes from slow-mo to full speed of like him just getting like Kane Hodder must have been sore from all those squig packs.
Oh yeah,
that they were shooting off, because I mean there was like dozens of them. It was almost reminiscent of like the scene in RoboCop where the police just lay into him in the parking garage.
Yeah, I love that scene.
Yeah, that scene is always sad but awesome.
This movie, strangely enough, had some Easter eggs. You see the Necronomicon book. You see the Arctic expedition in the basement when he falls into the basement. It's the Carpenter. It said Carpenter on it, so it was reference to the Thing. And then there's a Michael Myers reference in the movie as well. So those are the three like main references I recognize.
I didn't see the other two, but I saw the Necronomicon.
Yeah, when she falls into the basement, when the body, her mother, I should say, falls into the basement, and they show the cut of the body dropping.
Yeah.
There's a box right there that says Emily Carpenter Expedition, and it's reference to the Thing.
Interesting.
Okay.
It's really cool to see that those are in there.
Carpenter's got a TV series coming out.
What?
Yeah, he's got a horror TV show coming out.
Oh, that's right. He does. Yeah.
Isn't he like 80?
Yeah, I remember at some point, like Twitter had posted like "Rip John Carter" or John Carpenter, and he tweeted back like, "I don't think I'm dead, but thanks for your words." He's like, not dead yet. He's like, I may look like a zombie, but I'm not dead yet. I don't know, man. There's not much. The problem with these movies is like this. This is a review that will boil down to like this part was cool and this part was cool. The story's weak. It's essentially Jason's just transmitting himself from body to body, trying to kill again, and it's the mother and the daughter. They wipe out the mother. Then it's revealed you need this dagger, and then you need the baby to finally send him to hell for good.
Yeah. And the only people who can kill him is his own family. And that's what you find out. The people he's chasing they're all Voorhees. Yeah. That's who he's trying to kill. It's a weak ass story. Like, it just doesn't make any sense. And they put some creepy fucking bounty hunter in it. Dude, that guy's creepy.
Yeah, he's weird. He really like everything about him like screams date grape.
Yeah, it's super weird.
He's watching Jason Voorhees get blown up and everything at the beginning, and then he was looking like, I'm gonna get Jason later. Like he's like,
oh yeah, you think he's dead, you fucking idiots, and it's like, the fuck? Why are you just chilling? Like, did you just hear fucking thousands of rounds being expelled, and you're like, I need to be there?
And yet his character made no sense. Through the whole beginning of the movie, he's like, I'm not going to say a word on how to kill him unless you pay me. I want this much money. But then he meets some guy in a cell and he's like, I'll break your fingers and I'll tell you how to kill. Like, that was you just complained.
So that was the one thing. Movie. He breaks the guy's fingers and then the guy is just firing a gun, no problem. Like, wait a second, I thought your fingies was bro. Like, his fingers are fine. The rest of them,
he taped the two together.
Dude, his fingers were completely fine. The rest of them, like, he was throwing fists at Jason. Like, his shit was completely fine at the end. He's like, oh no, that old injury from 4 hours ago, no, it's healed completely.
And the Tim Burton composing music,
dude, the weird jazz music, like when he takes over the mortician and the mortician's like walking towards the camera and it's like, and you're like, what the fuck is going on here? Why is there fucking jazz playing? This is a Friday the 13th movie. It's got hell in the title. Fucking weirdos.
So they said he has over they confirmed in the movie that there's 83 confirmed kills.
Yeah, and then suspected
blah blah blah. So out of 9 years, he's murdered 83 people in the movies.
Well, that's what they body. I mean, I wonder if they actually counted it though.
Or that'd be cool if they did.
That'd be nice to know if they did little Easter eggs like the Necronomicon and Carpenter stuff.
Like, you would hope that they counted it if they're touting it as like, well, his body counts 80.
And hopefully they're saying that suspected others as the ones that's off camera.
Like the ones that where he kills like a cop in the middle of the fucking road type thing.
Yeah.
Or like it's off camera and they don't know if like if it was.
Well, the problem with the early 80s or the 80s versions of these movies is all kills were off camera because like the camera panned away because they were cutting the violence out. That's the real problem with the Jason movies and why they're kind of garbage is because like the ones from 85 and beyond were fucking nerfed. Every kill is a cutaway shot. I mean, even in this one, most of the kills are cutaway shots. Like when he kills,
they talk about that too in the documentary. Like, it's pretty sad.
Yeah, like they really butchered these. Like they actually filmed full cuts of these things, I believe, for at least a couple of them. And they got on the cutting room floor. They cut them down so bad because they kept telling them, less and less actual violence, despite it still being a rated R fucking horror movie. And it's like that all came from that Puritan parental advisory. The fucking Tipper Gore movement.
The Gore administration,
It was all about our children. Meanwhile, half of them are fucking their assistants. Like, come on. Like, everybody sucks. Let people enjoy their fucking movie.
Mm-hmm. Well, they had to cut away the violence to keep the violence down. That did a good job.
Yeah, that worked out for you, didn't you? We got more school shooters than we've ever had.
Yeah, it worked out really well.
This country has had guns in its civilians' hands since the inception of this fucking country. Private citizens have had way more weapons that are even out there now. Like, there was no registration at one point. Think about it. And now all of a sudden there's a problem. It starts this decade. Is it the guns?
Yeah.
Well, that's like if you follow politics at all, everybody saw, I don't know if you saw that Robert F. Kennedy has left the Democratic Party and is now independent, so he can run independent.
Mm-hmm.
One thing I was worried about with him was gun control, but I saw a Q&A he did where his answer was pretty satisfactory, to be honest with you. He kind of made that same point of like, I grew up and there was a gun club in school where kids brought their rifles and nobody ever thought anybody would shoot another kid. And he's like, now it's, we have these all the time. What happened? What changed? He's like, the guns are still there. They haven't changed. So who knows? I mean, we should just really fuck up the entire country and have him and Trump run together. Like, can you imagine a Democrat with Trump where in the back, he just fully supports him, but in the background he's like, you can't be saying this shit. Like, if you're gonna say this, say it because he's a lawyer. RFK's a fucking lawyer, so he could behind the scenes. He could behind the scenes be like, yo, I understand. Don't say this though. If you say this and not this, we're fucking golden. That's the problem. Is Trump needed somebody to fucking edit him. They need somebody. He needed somebody that was like, hey, shut up.
So Tony Khan of AEW is the Trump of the world.
Kind of he does. Wrestling. Tony Khan does need somebody to be like, hey, Tony. And Tony's like, what's up, bud? And he's like, it's not all about you. Somebody needs to tell him, you're not the star of this show. You are supposed to be Vince McMahon put himself
in write checks.
Yeah, Vince McMahon put himself in the storylines eventually. But he started as an announcer, and then he started as the behind-the-scenes guy pulling all the strings. Why are you getting so much TV time? Why are you doing media scrums? There needs to be media scrums for wrestling? What?
Well, not including Tony Khan. Well, they're trying to do the New Japan stuff where they do it after the show.
Yeah, but the problem is...
Even WWE's starting to do that now, too.
I think it's stupid because it's not a real sport.
Yeah.
That's are we going to have a media scrum after we watch a movie? Am I going to go to the ballet and I get to see a media scrum where I get to talk to the dancers? It's stupid.
We should start doing that. We should start doing that for us. After this, we're going to have a media scrum for us.
Yeah, they did do that. It's called The Talking Dead. I don't know anybody who would watch Walking Dead and be like, yeah, I'm going to sit through another hour of this, talking about that boring-ass fucking episode they just watched.
I did for the first season, and then I got really bored of it.
It's, it's and the problem is with Walking Dead, there's episodes that, nothing happened. So it's let's talk about Carol changing her haircut. It's oh,
and it's mostly Chris Hardwick fucking talking about how hardcore he is about everything.
I'm going to get Me Too'd.
Chris Hardwick, whatever.
Yeah, he got Me Too'd.
Yep.
Everybody's getting Me Too'd, even me, and I've been married for 37 goddamn years. My wife is going to Me Too me.
You've been married since birth?
Basically. Before birth, technically. It's AB, or no, PB, pre-birth. BB, before birth.
BM, before Matt.
Bowel movement. All right. What do you guys, anything you want to say about that? I don't know, man. I got to be honest with you. This has probably been my least favorite week of watching movies for the show that I've had in a while. And it's not that they anything was bad enough for me to hate the movie, but all of these movies just felt like a slog.
Out of all three of these movies, this one actually brought up some nostalgia for me because I did see this one in the drive-in theater. And I think that was the very first drive-in theater I ever went to. I drove myself there. I just had my, it was kind of cool. It was a cool experience for me. It was a bad movie then. It's still a bad movie now for me.
The last drive-in I remember going to was True Lies and Speed on a double feature.
Yeah.
Oh, sweet.
Yeah, that's 94.
the neighboring theater, because there was three of them, three drive-ins right there. I think the neighboring one was either Boys in the Hood or it was Menace to Society. It was one of those two.
I'd watch a double feature of both.
Well, they were on separate screens, so you couldn't go, and they were running at the same time. There was a last show. But you could tune in because it was all done on your FM radio.
When it was
AM radio.
I had thought about oh man, let's get to a drive-through theater. That would be fun. But it's just I don't know, man. After COVID, and I hadn't gone to the theater for so long, even before that, it just doesn't seem convenient anymore. At a certain point, it used to be worth it because you're seeing the newest movies. And now when movies come out 3 weeks after they're in theaters, it's I don't feel like going into a room where if I got to piss, I got to miss movie. I don't feel like going and spending more money on drinks and anything, at the minimum, I'm going to get a drink. Mm-hmm. So I could buy the movie for the price of our trip to the movie theater. And 3/4 of these movies coming out aren't worth going to the fucking movie for. Like,
and rather than eating junk food at the theater, you can actually have dinner while you're watching your own own cooking.
Yeah, or like I fast during the day, so like if we're watching it during the day, like I don't need anything. Like I'm just drinking water and shit. So it's like, but if you're at a theater, there's that temptation. Like no matter what, I'm getting a beverage, and it's even if it's gonna be sugar-free soda, it's still gonna be soda because I'm not gonna spend $4 for a bottle of shithole Dasani. Whoever would buy a bottle of water at a movie theater instead of buying a large drink and filling it up with water from the filtered fucking fountains is an idiot. $4 for a 20-ounce or a giant fat-ass fucking cup. Yeah, sure, people fill it with Coca-Cola, but you can put water in it. Like, yeah, that guy's not going to see past 50. Why? He chose 50 ounces of Coca-Cola. It is what it is. Sorry.
50 for 50.
You could talk about Jason being a murderer. Fucking high blood pressure and diabetes gonna get you before Jason does. I'm guilty of. I used to love going to the theater, and what I would do is we would go in, get in there. First off, we'd go to Dollar Tree, and I would just load like my cargo shorts up with like gummy bears and every fucking candy you could think of, and then we'd go to the theater, and I would get a large soda. And we would get there where it's like 15, 20 minutes before the show. So I would chug the fucking beverage and then go get a refill before the movie started. That's how unhealthy I used to be. And like, I understand that, like, it's fun, but it's also fun being at home where I could vape and I can get up and pause a movie and piss. And, I got to take the trash out. No problem. Not ruining anything. I'm home.
The one thing that I would always buy from a theater when I would go is nachos. Because
nacho theaters are
the
special.
Nachos were really good. But then we got to the age where they fucking grab the bag, they pop it open, and they dump it on there, and it's less chips. And then they fill that little dish up, and they sprinkle a little bit on there, and that's it. When before it was like they scooped the bowl into this big ass vat, kind of like how they had the popcorn, and it was all chips, and they would just scoop it up, and then they would pour it all on there. And if there was a little dish, then they would fill that up, and they're like, there you go. And they throw the jalapenos on there.
I'm telling you, man, Velveeta. You don't even need theater nachos anymore. Use fucking Velveeta. It's made out of plastic and I think baby whales, but it's fucking worth it. Velveeta's delicious.
It is.
If you want nacho cheese,
can't you leave it open? Can't you leave it open and nothing will happen to it?
I refrigerate it no matter what.
Won't go bad.
It's you don't refrigerate
it for a certain amount
of
time, though.
Dude, it's as simple as this: fucking whole or whatever milk. Just don't use skim because it's gross. But milk with Velveeta and mix it with jalapeno juice. That's jalapeno cheddar cheese right there. It's so fucking easy. Velveeta is the only fucking way I eat that sort of cheese anymore, because it's like. The other thing is you can make a little bit. Like, if you buy one of those big tubs of fucking nacho cheese at Sam's Club, you got fucking 128 ounces. If you're using Velveeta, you got just a little pan full of cheese if you want a little bit of cheese. By the way, Velveeta cheese sauce plus cornbread equals orgasm.
Does it?
Remember that. This Thanksgiving, when you're making your cornbread stuffing, make a little Velveeta cheese sauce. You'll thank me later. And on that note...
All right.
Fuck everybody. What if I disappeared? Wouldn't that be cool?
That would have been funny.
Fucking poof, gone.
As far as hot dogs, for nostalgia reasons, this is going to be a 2 for me.
It's simple. I'm gonna go with 2 as well. In none of these movies do I really hate. Like, I don't mean to rail on them. That's not my intention. It's just they're all Appendage is bad. Appendage is bad, but like the other 2 were different for their times, and then one of them is a Jason movie, so there's always a measure of slack given to those because it's just a dumb slasher flick.
Mm-hmm.
It's a 2 for me. None of these movies were great. It was a slog of a week to watch, and I can't wait till next week because next week's going to be a fun week.
This was a 2 for me as well. I love this movie. I do. I love the Jason movie. He's my favorite slasher, but realistically, this is a 2. Like,
yeah, I mean,
it is what it is.
And it sucks to say that, but like, if we didn't review it, like, we've talked about nostalgia movies too, but like, there's so much garbage in this movie, just like the way it was made. Like, it's clearly got a budget. So just some of the cuts and shit in it are just and then some of the characters, like the fat loudmouth bitch that runs the diner.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not even a murderer and I wanted to punch her throat in. Like, shut up.
There was a lot of over acting.
Yeah, it's almost like they tried to get the feel of like Texas Chainsaw 3 in there for some reason a little bit. Like, what the fuck is going on here?
The Jason light show at the end.
Yeah.
with the gold and then the white lights that were coming out.
Fuck
and,
the 4th of July. We can kill
The
Jason.
column hands. It's really weird.
From the ground. That was very
That
Evil
was the
Dead like.
shittiest. That was the very
I also
shittiest
love
part
how
of the hands.
the one man who through the whole movie tried to save her and her son, and as it was pulling him in, she just kind of stood there and watched him for a minute.
Right? Like, oh
Did you
no.
notice that? Just watched him go in, and he's like, "Hello."
He's the father of the daughter too.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
That's
Like
the baby's father.
Why
She
were they
still
separated?
wasn't sure if he was good. I think it was he wasn't ready, or she didn't want to. She didn't like, I don't know, something like that. But she didn't want to tell everybody that she was pregnant yet.
Some stupid
And then
bullshit.
she went away because it's a small town.
Stupid
And then
bullshit.
she found somebody else.
All right. Well, next week's going to be great. We've got Slither, VHS, and what was the other one?
Unwelcome,
which looks interesting. That one's on Shudder as well. Those are the 3 we're reviewing next week. We will see you guys then. We'll have for the next 3 weeks in a row, right? I believe, or 2 weeks. No, 3 weeks?
2 weeks.
Next 2 weeks in a row, we'll have live episodes as well, and they're only going to get better. So you guys have a wonderful night. Thank you, everybody, for joining. We will see you next week for